Hi guys, welcome to Bone Fragments. It's Jared here again. In this video, we're preparing more parts for the CRL. That's the conventional rotary launcher set for the Revell B1B. Today, the parts we're looking at are the BRU-56s, the actual bomb release units. So let's dive right in. Okay, depending on which set you purchase, you'll receive either the low detail version of the BRU-56s or the super detailed high resolution version. Some sets have both in for your choice. The low resolution ones or the low detail ones are perfect if you are attaching weapons, because when you've got the weapons on the pylons, you can't see much detail in the bomb bay with them. Pop that on there like that, and when the weapons are in, it's hard to see. But if you want to display your bomb bay with the full detailed ones, put one of those in there like that, and you can see you've got all the detail on that. Okay, so once you remove them from the supports, this is the super detailed version. And this is the low detail version. All right. For the low detail version, they come in two sets of 4. And the high detail version comes in 3 sets of 3 for a total of 9, to give you 1 extra just because they're quite fragile. And if you do muck one up while removing it from its supports or knock something off, you've got a spare there. Okay, let's jump in. So first thing I recommend is that you take your pieces and you glue them to something solid to hold on to. That way you're not holding on to these tiny bits and breaking things off as you're holding them. So you want to get a good grip on them. This is just a 1, 2, 3 block, and they're just super glued on. This is obviously not a set of 4. I've just used some spares here for the purpose of doing this. Now for the 4, it's pretty easy. You just want to cut it straight off at the base, straight across. Or you can cut out the center bit first to give you the supports that are at the ends here holding it while you do that. We definitely want to do that on the detailed version. So let's show you what we mean there. So you can actually just come in with something like a scalpel and staying close to the base. Cut that out and very slowly nibble away at that. Clean up the bottom here, give you some working room. Okay, this resin is quite brittle, so you want to be careful while you're working on it that you don't get too close to the edge. If you do, then you want to work in very fine increments. The thing you can do when you get close like this is that then it might be time to use a sanding a file of some description. So this is Tiny God Hand file. You can come in and sand that right down like that. So the idea is to get in there, and I just find doing this while the middle section is supported by the ends on the actual support piece here, gives the best result. Almost done here. Right, let's look in there. See, we've cleaned that up nicely along the bottom there. Still a couple of tiny bits, but we can do those once we've got the tops off. These ones here can actually just nip off quite easily. Those ones can actually if you're nipping, don't nip close to the part, nip further away, and then perhaps even come in with a very fine saw to get that last bit off. Okay, so what I find now is a good time to come in with the saw and just take the whole part off now. Now, this works quite well for the undetailed versions. You don't want to do this for the super detailed version. It's a little bit deeper blade. Okay, so we've come off there. The reason we don't want to do this for the other version, the 3 end, is if you have a look at this piece, that's the base under there. The ends of the pistons are in little divots. So if you were to just slice this one off, when you get to one of these, it tends to snap it. So we'll show you how to do that in a minute. Okay, so now we've got this portion, this piece. Wear it down a bit by snipping it. Again, don't get close to the part with the nippers. It always tends to nip further down than you're anticipating. Right, so we're up to there. Now use either a saw again. Also get better results by sawing in one direction, almost like a scribe, as opposed to a backwards and forwards sawing motion. It tends to put a lot of stress on the part. Be very careful when you're working on the rear end, because this little part right here, this solenoid device, there's a wire coming onto it, that's fragile and will snap here if you're not careful. So just keep your distance from that. Okay, and then another option here is a little scraper, chisel, as it were. Get any last bits off. Just finds that gives you a bit of extra control. And there we have it. And they will just pop right in. Boom. Straight in like that. And you're going to have 8 of those going round. And you see we've got a little Y connection here. Delicate. Come on to that little area there. Just glue that on the side of the pylon, however you can. Okay, so that is the low detail version. Let's move on to the high detail version. While we're here, I'll just show you how to take this one off completely. That's what that looks like from the bottom there. So you can just take that off completely like that, and then another option again is to lightly scribe. Through, and then use that scribe line to snap them off. Let's see, something like, oops, there goes the light. That didn't work, so just cut. Managed to drop that off.